right, so our second portion of our presentation this evening is with Ms. Bass, and I'm going to start the presentation again, and Ms. Smith is going to present Ms. Bass to the
All
group.
right. Hello, everyone. So our next presenter is someone who knows a lot about the things that are necessary to land the job that you want. Her skills have helped many people who struggle to get their job applications seen by the right people. And so tonight she's going to show you the do's and don'ts of resume writing and other career tips to help you kind of jumpstart your career path, regardless of your education level and regardless of your level of experience. So it's my pleasure to introduce you all to Miss Loren Bass, the CEO and founder of Bass Consulting.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Today we are talking about mastering the job search. So we're going to go a little bit about resumes and cover letters and some amazing job search engines that can help you with your job search. In this slide, we have the 11 top skill sets that employers are looking for. A big thing to know is there is a difference between hard skills versus soft skills. So your soft skills are more about your character traits, being able to work in a team, time management, things of that nature. Your hard skills are more so working with Adobe, Microsoft Word. If you're bilingual or multilingual, that's something amazing to have on your resume. You want to do an inventory of your best skills, and based on the type of job you're looking for, you want to make sure you highlight those top skills on your resume. What most people don't realize is there is actually 3 types of resume formats. And the best thing to do is understand where you are in your job search and what your skill sets have to determine the best format for you. So most people, just across the board, they use a chronological format. With the chronological, it's just, your current job, the last job, the job before that. But that may not work for everybody. If you're someone who maybe have a gap of experience, then maybe you want to go more with a functional resume. So it highlights the top skill sets and experiences that you have. And it doesn't so much go with the gaps. You can address the gaps in an interview, but you kind of want to highlight, put your best foot forward in your functional resume. And then other people, they may use a combination resume. So I believe I use more of a combination resume. And with that one, I'm able to highlight my top skills. I have a mini job summary on mine. And then I actually have a separation between relevant work experience and then regular work experience. So based on the type of job that you're applying for, maybe you did some relevant work experience several years ago, but you want that more at the top of your resume. It's not so much your most recent job that's relevant to the job that you're applying for. So you can go more of a combination resume. A big thing that most people have no idea about is the application tracking system. If you are ever wondering, is somebody looking at my resume? Did they even receive my resume? It's because maybe you didn't have enough keywords in your resume to pass the application tracking system. So with the application tracking system, it is a computerized system that scans thousands of resumes and pretty much weeds them out so that an employer only sees the top resumes based on that job description. So it's very daunting to a lot of people, where you could apply for, 17, 25, 50 jobs and don't get a call back. It might be because you're not passing the application tracking system. Unfortunately, it works against us to some sense, but on the employer side, if they only have one job and they only want to do 10 interviews or maybe 25 interviews, but they get 150 resumes, they use the application tracking system to help them weed out and just pull those top resumes to review so they can offer the top candidates the application, so the interview. So you really want to start being mindful that there is a such thing as an application tracking system, and it's a computerized system that is intended to weed out, not resumes that are not directly aligned with the job posting. So your resume basics. These are very important key things to know about your resume and how it should, the things that it should contain. Keywords. If you are looking for a job, I always recommend job seekers to look at least 3 jobs that they're interested in that same industry and see what trends they see in those 3 jobs, even 5 jobs. If there's a trend in certain phrases or certain words, you want to have those specific things in your resume. That's how you pass the application tracking system. You also want to make sure you have action verbs. So not like in my job, I had to do X, Y, and Z. You want to stay away from just listing your duties to having things that talk about your accomplishments. And the action verbs might be, I developed this, or I was a part of assessment and evaluating something. So keep it in mind, and you can Google like top action words for a resume. There are a lot of places that give you some really great words to use, but keywords from job postings is important. Having action verbs that kind of are at the top of each bullet point, talking about your accomplishments instead of your job duties is important. What did you accomplish? So if you were working in retail and one of your responsibilities was getting people to get the store card, did you track how many people got cards while you were at work? Or some companies, they reward employees for that. Right now I'm the recruitment and marketing coordinator for my institution. I work in higher education. And what I do is social media management. A lot of my job is I'm working on social media. So I'm able to say, even though, the general sense is I manage our Facebook and our Twitter accounts, I was able to increase engagement by 200%. Facebook gives me the data, and I just found the best way to put what I did. It was a 200% increase. And now that looks like a great accomplishment on my resume. Again, talking about your relevant work experience, if you're applying for jobs where your most relevant experience isn't what you've recently done or what you're currently doing, that's a part of paying attention to the type of format that your resume is in. And then also highlighting those skills. So having a summary on your resume isn't a requirement, but if you have certain skills that you want an employer to pay attention to, it is great to have those somewhere at the top of your resume. 6 seconds. That's all you get. First, you have to pass the application tracking system. The next obstacle is 6 seconds. Does your resume stand out enough when someone glances at your resume to say, let me read more? If your resume doesn't stand out, if the formatting isn't good, if you use too many fonts and the font is small and it's just not easy to read, 6 seconds, now somebody else is gonna, somebody else has an opportunity that you missed. So you want to pay attention to, keep in mind, somebody in their 20s could be reviewing your resume. Somebody in their 40s could be reviewing your resume. Somebody in their 60s could be reviewing your resume. The size of your font is extraordinarily important. And the amount of pages that your resume is very important. If you don't need a 2-page resume, do not have a 2-page resume, because sometimes they'll never see what's on that second page. So you want to make sure, is my resume interesting enough and filled with enough keywords and accomplishments that when someone scans it in 6 seconds, they say, let me read this more carefully. Let me check their cover letter. Let me see if I want to actually interview this person. Now that you've gotten your resume together, you have to do a cover letter. It's many jobs that want a cover letter. The thing about a cover letter, the first thing is you want to make sure you address it to someone. A big thing I try to discourage people from doing is to whom it may concern. When applying for jobs, they want to know that you did your research in the company. So the best way to know that you did your research is, who did you address this resume to or your cover letter to? And when it comes down to it, you know, if the position is in a marketing department, did you go to the website and see who the director of marketing is? Or maybe you're not able to find who the director is, and maybe you can find who's the human resources director, or maybe just the recruiter for that human resources team. You want to try your best to address it to somebody. And then also you want to highlight the skill sets and the best things that your resume has in your cover letter. The reality is most people read the cover letter second. So they're going to see your resume first, scan it, see if you're even interesting enough to read your cover letter. But your cover letter can help seal the deal. So you want to make sure it's very specific, it's interesting, but it's addressed to somebody so they know that this is not some blanket cover letter that you did a copy and paste and you use the same cover letter for every job you're applying for. It should be very specific to that position. You may be able to use the same resume for several jobs, but you should not be using the same cover letter for several jobs. Now, here's a great checklist. Have you checked the format of your resume? Have you exhibited that you are an appropriate fit for the job that you're applying for? Did you show evidence of your impact on the role? So those accomplishments I was talking about, are you exhibiting that in your resume? Do you have your job history? So at least the current job you're in and your maybe last two, you want to at least try to have 3 jobs on your resume, and then you'll be able to discuss other things when you get an interview. But you definitely need that job history so they could see the relevancy of your skill sets to what that job posting is. Your resume content, again, those action verbs, and just your online profile. So an online profile is not necessary, but it would be helpful. So the best platform that many people use is LinkedIn. Based on the industry that you're in, it's always great to have a LinkedIn profile. Another way how you can add those additional jobs that you may have had, but you don't want to have a crazy long resume, you can list as many jobs as you need to on your LinkedIn profile. So at the top of your resume, when you have your name, your phone number, sometimes people put their address, but more so your email. Now you add your LinkedIn profile and they have another opportunity to get to know you by just kind of going on LinkedIn and seeing who you are. Top jobs, top websites for job postings. So here are the top 10 websites. And I kind of did it where you can tell the difference between the various websites. It can get exhausting trying to figure out where should you be going to look for a job. So, you know, going to Indeed, I go to Indeed often just to kind of see what's out there, do some market research. If you're looking for a remote job, Flex Jobs is a great way. LinkedIn, I'm always on LinkedIn looking for different positions and just kind of seeing what's out there. Certain websites like LinkedIn, they tell you about like the average salary for the position that you're interested in. They tell you the salaries based on location sometimes. So you have a great sense of the top 10 websites that will be really good to look for a job. A few resources that I wanted to let you know about. Grow with Google is a free resource, and actually on the 25th, they're having a free webinar. So anybody who is working on their resume or they need help with their resume, that's a great resource. But then also if you have AAA, the car insurance, or no, it's roadside assistance. If you have AAA, they also have career webinars. So you should go to your AAA website or speak to your agent, because that's a free resource that you pay for when you have AAA membership. So for those of you who are interested in what I'm saying, I would absolutely love it if you could do the survey for me. I like to kind of make sure I'm hitting the information that people need. So I would greatly appreciate it if you could fill out this link. It gives me an opportunity to know things to improve or things to keep, and just like how my presentation skills are. So please fill that out if you get some free time. And then if you want to follow me on social media or get in touch with me, I have my website on here. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. You can message me and ask me questions, but I am a resource and I'm here to help. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mrs. Bass. Just like we did before, we want to leave this time for